Nahum chapter 1, the story of the jealous God. Prologue. The prophet from Elkosh. In a small village called Elkosh lived a prophet named Nahum. He was an ordinary man, but God showed him an extraordinary vision, a vision of judgment upon Nineveh, the capital of the mighty Assyrian Empire. Nineveh was the most powerful and prosperous city in the world at that time. Surrounded by towering walls, the city boasted of being an unconquerable fortress. But Nahum saw what God had planned for this city. Chapter 1, The Two Faces of God. A Jealous Love. The first revelation Nahum received was about God's character. God is jealous. People were confused when they heard this. How could jealousy be an attribute of a holy God? Nahum explained, God's jealousy is different from human jealousy. Just as a husband becomes angry at those who harm his beloved wife, God is jealous for his people because he loves them. When evil oppresses them, his holy passion is stirred. This is righteous zeal. For decades, Assyria had tormented God's people, Israel and Judah. They had destroyed the northern kingdom of Israel, threatened Judah, and dragged countless people into captivity. Their cruelty was legendary, leaving only blood and tears in their wake. God had been patient. He waited and waited. But now that season of patience was coming to an end. God in the storm. In Nahum's vision, the sky began to darken. Whirlwinds arose and storm clouds covered the heavens. God was coming. When he rebuked the sea, it dried up. When he spoke to the rivers, they became parched. Mountains trembled before him, and hills melted away. The earth heaved in his presence, and the world with all its inhabitants shook. Who can stand before his indignation? Nahum cried out, Who can endure his fierce anger? His wrath is poured out. Like fire and rocks are shattered before him. But the vision didn't end there. God as refuge. In the midst of the storm, Nahum saw another scene. On the day of trouble, amid fear and chaos, there were people who ran to God for shelter. And God became their stronghold, a fortress protecting them from wind and rain, a shield guarding them from enemy attacks. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. Nahum's voice softened. He knows those who take refuge in him. He remembers their names, their tears, their prayers. God had two faces, a terrifying judge to evildoers, but a compassionate protector to those who trusted in him. Chapter 2, The Sentence Against Nineveh. Pride broken. Nahum's vision turned toward Nineveh. God asked, What do you plot against the Lord? In their palaces, the kings of Nineveh held council meetings. They spread out maps and planned their next conquest. They discussed strategies to bring Judah to its knees and ways to invade Egypt. We are masters of the world, they declared. Who dares to oppose us? But they didn't know that God was watching all their plans, all their schemes. He will make a complete end. Trouble will not rise up twice. God's verdict fell. Nineveh would be completely destroyed in one judgment. There would be no second chance to rise again. Thorns and stubble. Nahum explained Nineveh's fate through metaphor. They are entangled like thorns and drunk like drunkards, but they will be consumed like dry stubble, completely burned up. No mighty army, no towering wall could prevent God's judgment. Nineveh would become ash in an instant, like dry grass thrown into fire. The wicked counselor. A wicked counselor has come from you. Nahum pointed to a specific person, someone from Nineveh, who plotted against the Lord with evil schemes. Perhaps it was Sennacherib, the Assyrian king who invaded Judah. He had mocked God before the walls of Jerusalem. Can your God save you? The gods of all the nations I conquered couldn't save them. But he was wrong. God was not like other gods, and now it was time to pay the price. Chapter 3, Judah's Liberation. The yoke is broken. The vision returned to Judah. God declared, Though they are strong and numerous, they will be cut down. Now I will break his yoke from off you and will burst your bonds apart. The people of Judah had groaned under Assyrian domination for so long. They paid heavy taxes and lived under constant threat. An invisible yoke was upon their necks. But now that yoke would be shattered. The bonds would be broken. Freedom was coming. The name cut off. God pronounced sentence upon Nineveh. I will cut off the carved image and the metal image from the house of your gods. I will make your grave, for you are vile. Your name will no longer be perpetuated. This was the most terrible curse. In the ancient Near East, having one's name cut off meant complete annihilation, no descendants, no memory, no history. Nineveh would not simply be conquered. It would be completely erased, as if it had never existed. Feet upon the mountains. Then Nahum saw the final vision. A runner was coming over the mountains. His feet were swift, his face radiant with joy. He brought good news. Nineveh has fallen. Assyria is destroyed. We are free. Nahum proclaimed, Behold upon the mountains the feet of him who brings good news, who publishes peace. Keep your feasts. O Judah, fulfill your vows, for never again shall the wicked come against you. He is utterly cut off. The people of Judah no longer had to be afraid. They could make pilgrimages to Jerusalem safely. They could worship God in peace. Their oppressor was gone. Epilogue, history proves God's word. Nahum's prophecy was fulfilled precisely. In 612 BC, the combined forces of Babylon and Media besieged Nineveh. In just 3 months, the unconquerable Nineveh fell. The city was thoroughly destroyed, burned, and completely abandoned. Then something strange happened. The location of Nineveh was forgotten. For hundreds of years, people didn't know where that great city had stood. It was as if it had never existed. It wasn't until the 19th century that archaeologists discovered its ruins, and they realized Nahum's prophecy had been fulfilled literally. Your name will no longer be perpetuated. God revealed 2 truths. First, no empire, however mighty, can survive if it opposes God. Second, God never forgets his people. The jealous God, the loving God, the judging God, the saving God. God in the storm, God as refuge. Nahum's vision wasn't simply about the destruction of one ancient city. It was about the eternal truth that God governs history, and that justice ultimately prevails. And that truth remains valid today. If this story blessed you, please like and subscribe for more biblical narratives brought to life.